Yes, I'm from the UK, from the southwest of England. I studied later in neuroscience at Sussex and then in University of Edinburgh, where I stayed for about 10 years as a professorial position in neuroscience. I then went to the USA to do more brain work, particularly in eye-hand coordination and child development. And I became interested in developing programs for children as a result of that research over all those years. A personal friend of mine at that time, a family friend, Charles Wong, was looking to start a new business in Hong Kong, and he approached me for content advice. And as time went on and I became more and more interested in providing content for his programs, he started to get the idea of starting a business based on providing that content to children in Hong Kong. My wife is also Chinese from Hong Kong, as this was a coming home for her. So after a good 20 years in academic life, I was ready for a new challenge and also willing not to have a high salary anymore for some time. So we took the decision to relocate after we had opened here for 1 year or so. Initially, our difficulties were to do with how to generate or to support our key market in Hong Kong. This was largely resolved by my partner. He's the businessman, and he's also a marketing expert, and he essentially had to sell me because I was the program, I was the core of the program and the program developer. And he had various ways of introducing myself as a public face of the program to the Hong Kong market, to the Hong Kong audience, in particular the mid-level audience at that time. They were the ones who were asking for this kind of program. So it was largely the marketing department that gave rise to generating that interest in Hong Kong. SaaS was a significant problem for all of us. It was unexpected. I was not expecting to make any profits or even break even within 2 years or 3 years possibly, but I wasn't expecting to have no income at all. This is what happened. One solution was to develop an online program so children could work from home and still have access to our kind of training, our very specific training. What we could not do was continue in the classroom because we had to close our classrooms at that time for some multiple months. Right now, yes, it is. We are approached by many VC and JV-oriented groups in America. We were about to exhibit at a large exhibition in Washington. We have just decided this morning to withdraw from that as we're not happy with the American market as it is. It's not the right time for us to penetrate that. Our service is welcome, our market is prepared, but we are not comfortable to enter that arena at this time. We will expand regionally for the time being. Okay, the principal difference is that I am now a poor man for several years. I miss the salary I used to have, but I do not miss the academic community as such. I'm still active. We are still presenting to conferences. I also still do surgical work, both at Chinese University and at Hong Kong University. Occasionally, I also give academic talks. But the other big difference is in the type of student I have. My students are very different. Although I'm training adults and doing corporate work also, most of my students are now very young. The up-and-coming generation, the leaders of the future.